Kay.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I love that color on you.
Oh, thanks. My hair is still messy, but
Yeah, I get mine cut tomorrow, I think. And it's been 6 months. So
wow.
I know. I looked up because I'm like, my hair is making me crazy. And I looked it up. For the past 3 years, I've gotten my hair cut in February and July. And in July, it started making me crazy. And I'm like, but I couldn't get an appointment until now. And I'm like, yeah, that's apparently about all the longer you get is 6 months, man.
Amazing. I get mine done every 6 weeks, no matter what.
Do you really?
Yeah. I just get it cut now because I don't have to color it or do anything.
Right. I don't color anymore either. I mean, other than the conditioner I do at home, and that's it. As I say, for the girl with the pink hair. And, but it doesn't grow. I mean, it just doesn't grow. And then it's curly, so it hides everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can hide it for a long time. But my husband every once in a while will kvetch because he's like, it's so expensive when you get your hair cut. And I'm like, twice a year. I deal with it, I mean, it's twice a year. It doesn't, it's so what? Who cares? Spend as much money as I damn want. It's twice a year.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
So, well, let's get going. Let's hear some good news. What do we got?
Well,
I'm getting offers on the house. And
Congratulations.
I've got another person that called last night. Cheryl's getting the numbers scratched out, penciled in, pulled here and pulled there to be able to see how much paint, cosmetic, how much glitter, how much floors, how much ceilings, because county can't hold us responsible for that. They can't keep us from doing that. They do have a limit on the stuff, the infrastructure has to be inspected. And that's the limit that I have to stay under. So by using mini splits and not doing major structural changes, I think we'll get it under and make it look good and probably get it on the rent rolls for about $2,000. Cheryl says 2,500 because it's a 3,700 square foot house.
That's big.
It is big.
Really big.
And it's on the water.
Oh, yeah. So, what city again? What town?
It's in Moratico,
Okay.
Virginia. It's on a lump sticking out. It's an Indian name. It's in Lancaster County. It's sitting on Rappahannock River. You can look up the river for 5 miles, and you can look down the river for 5 miles. So
Nice.
you see the sunset, the sunrise off your front porch, and you see your sunset walking down the side of the house on the back porch, and it's all over the water.
Nice.
If it's over the water, it's to me, it's more beautiful than through 80 and 90 foot.
how did you find this house, Dutch?
I didn't ask my wife.
Okay.
We were not in agreement because she wasn't there. I bought it because I was going to either rehab it or tear it down, and the lot across the street was assessed for $215. So I bought both of them for $250.
Nice.
So I think I got a good deal on it, but I've been vacillating back and forth about whether I should raise the house up and make it Mac Daddy, because it would comp out. The house itself would comp out at 1.2 million.
Nice. Very nice.
I have 19 comps, and 3/4 of them sold for cash.
Yeah.
Cash.
Yeah.
1.2 million cash. 3 of them just like it, same size, same situation. If I gave them the waterfront lot.
All right.
It's just the construction costs have gone up so much in the last couple of years.
True. Well, let's move on in good news.
Go ahead. That's good news.
That's very good news. All right. Who's good news? Kay, you were trying to go.
I'm trying to think. Well, I checked Zoodealio this morning, and I think I have a final offer on my house. I have a house that we're trying to figure out if it's a zombie house. HUD can't find it. And the last lien on it was through HUD. So I think we're going to put an offer in and let the title company figure out who the bank is, because nobody can find it.
Craig and Anna, do you guys know what a zombie house is? We got crickets. Anna, why don't you tell us what a zombie house is? Because it's interesting, y'all. Craig, do you know what a zombie house is? Nope. All right, let's hear it. Okay.
Well, basically, the parents died, and we've tracked through all the liens and the selling of the notes. The parents, we think, took out a reverse mortgage. The servicing company for the reverse mortgage went out of business, and the last thing we see is that it was sold to HUD. So I got all the information. I called HUD, I called the servicing number, and they said they have no record of it whatsoever. They cannot find it. It hasn't been given to anybody. It's not in their system at all.
So it's a house that through some sort of foreclosure was started and then never foreclosed on, is one of the ways you get a zombie property. Nobody knows really who owns it now. So usually, like my son had one, so his first property, not quite a divorce, but it's close to a divorce as you can go through, court case and everything else for not being married, which was a train wreck. She got the house, lost the house, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but they never took it. So the bank grabbed it, said it was foreclosed upon. My son was, long gone at that point. And then they get the money from the government. In this particular case, in many cases, actually, they'll get the money from the government, but they never sell the house. So it's not really foreclosed. It was still technically in my son's name after all this time. And I'm like, you can sell that property. So that's what a zombie property is. So it's like a foreclosed house. I know, it's pretty interesting. When you find one, it's really interesting. So I've had a few of them when I was doing short sales and everything, we would pop up with some zombie properties. I would contact the owners that had gotten foreclosed on. And I'm like, you still own that property. And they were like, what? And I'm like, yeah, technically you still own that property. Want to do a short sale? And, because it was just hanging out there, slapping their credit left and right. And so we would do a short sale on it. Oh, anyway, that's what a zombie property is. So let's hear some more good news. Who's got what?
Yeah, my lake listing, we got an offer on it.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So
oh, I am not joking, Craig.
tell me about it. So they offered $695. The guy countered back at $715. So we'll see. They got to answer us back today by 6 p.m.
Okay. Do you think your agent's going to work with you, at least, if nothing else, slap another counter back?
I hope so.
Have you talked to him?
I haven't talked to her this morning. I talked to her yesterday.
Yeah.
And she's pretty cool. Her client situation is they bought a lot in the same neighborhood. But they don't want to go through the time of building when they could just get an existing house already with a dock and boat lift and all of that stuff. So pretty much all, everything they want. I hope they go ahead and they do counter back at least, because it's contingent upon financing. And I don't think it'll not financing, appraisal. And I don't think it'll appraise for $715 anyway.
Oh, beautiful. And then your guy has to, well, in theory, he would come down to match the appraisal.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So yeah, so a nice appraisal contingency in there and you're good to go. You know anyone that wants that lot?
Not offhand, no.
Do your people want the lot?
What the sellers that I have? I doubt it.
Okay.
I know the wife doesn't, and I wouldn't even fool with him.
No. That's not even on the table. It just puts you back in some sort of mess. All right. Well, congratulations. on your offer, darling.
Thank you. But I did talk to another agent yesterday that called and inquired about the property. And she's got clients that need to sell their home in the Greenville area. And then they want to buy lake property down here.
Mhm.
So she was inquiring about that house. I told her about 2 new constructions that's right up the street from it. So she appreciated that. And she told me if she couldn't find them anything that she would enlist my help and we could kind of work them together.
Oh, lovely. Very nice. Very
So-
cool. Nice. All right, Miss Anna, can you talk today? You're up.
Good morning, everyone. Good news. Well, the good news is I went for my first walk at the house that I'm fingers crossed getting. And they said that they would hopefully try to aim to close by Friday.
Wow.
So, I don't know, we'll see. Builder's ready for Friday, but I'll have to get in touch with the loan processor to see if they have everything they need. So that's my really good news. Otherwise, are we doing challenges too or no?
Well, we're gonna give me 1 second, then we're gonna move into your challenge, okay?
Okay,
All
okay.
right, so you're up first. My good news is on Saturday, I went to my Toastmasters group and I told them, I said, you know, this is what I want to build and what I want to do. Here's my class that I wrote and who can point me in whatever direction. And it was amazing. So one girl was the head of a company. She was head of HR for a company of 500 employees. And she's talked to me about how you get grants to be able to, I'm like, wait, what? And she goes, yeah, she goes, we hire people with grants. She goes, you get a grant from the government and then the government pays you and then you teach us and we don't have to pay you anything. I'm like, all right, hang on. I had no idea. So she's hooked me up or is hooking me up with her friend who's the quote queen of writing grants. And so she's doing that. And then I'm going to meet with the friend and then another guy who does basically the same thing, took it home so he can work with me on pricing and to go through it all. His feedback already has been really good. And then a third person talked to me about getting in front of the high school students, which I'm like, oh, I kind of like that idea. And she goes, get into the high school and you can get the grants to the high school or the grants to do the stuff at the high school, grab the high school stuff and get to the parents that way. And then the chamber that I called up, our local chamber, they work, their project that they support is the high school, the local high school. And so my first breakfast with the chambers in like 3 weeks or something like that. So all of that really gelled on Saturday and came together on Saturday. And I'm like, ooh, so it's kind of exciting. I get to go explore all this stuff to go see where that turns out. But anyway, Bree got some good news and then Anna's got a challenge. And good morning, darling. You must be good, by the way.
School back for everyone?
Is what?
The first day of school?
Oh, my granddaughter's Thursday. So for you though, first day back?
First day back and I had to redo shoelaces.
It's the important things.
Right. So
I've been buying school supplies. I went to a football meeting last night and I have a meet the teacher meeting tomorrow night. It's great.
Yeah, today's meet the teacher and then grandma did school supplies for so grandma bought all the school supplies for her as a gift, great grandma actually. So it was kind of cool and she was really excited. So it's her first day of school Thursday. So and she has the big huge pink furry backpack, which is the one she dang wanted. All right. So is going back to school your good news?
yes, because I can do work.
I hear you. I hear you. Every year, Greg used to get a little twitchy and a little kind of weird towards for us, school starts in September or did when we kids. And so around the tail end of August, he'd start to get a little like, and I'm like, it's only a few more days, babe. Just hang on, I'm going back. So, yep. All right. Anna, challenges.
Yes. So one of the houses we were in contract, we're set to close next week or a week and a half from now. And I got a notification from the buyer's agent letting me know that her client's father is very ill and he's like 4 hours away. And she was actually going to get deployed in like 5 months. She was going to hang on to this house here and then come back. But now because the father is ill, she decided to back out of the contract. She's forfeiting her earnest money and just basically moving on. So we have to go back on market. But she also told me that appraisal had Tidewater. I wanted to ask if anyone's dealt with that.
What is it that appraisal has?
Tidewater that under appraised. So
Yeah.
you can as the buyer's, as the seller's agent, go back and like really like contest it and show your comp.
But do I need to do it if we're out of contract now with that particular
What?
buyer?
Because it carries over.
Well, hang on. What kind of appraisal? FHA, VA, conventional?
It's a VA. Yeah, it's
Yes.
a VA.
So it'll carry over to the next house.
For 6
Oh, it
months?
does?
I forgot. FHA and VA carries over. The
Carry for
appraisal
6
carry
months.
over.
Yeah, it'll hang.
So you want to contest, you can contest it, contact the appraiser,
But
show the,
you'll have to contest even though they're backing out this
because
particular
they
buyer?
carry over.
The
So
appraisal stays with the property for a period of time. I know it's FHA 6 months. I don't remember VA, but I'm looking it up right now as y'all are talking.
Okay. So I
What
still
if
wanna
it's just
contest it.
like a hard money appraisal? Will that carry over?
No.
No.
Six
So
months.
VA, FHA appraisal stick with the house.
6 months. FHA.
months.
VA.
So can you have X number of days to contest it?
Okay.
So just go ahead and get on it.
Yeah, and here's the thing, so which will help you guys if the market starts to shift, Craig, with your property, let's say, the appraisal doesn't come through and your seller is like, I'm just gonna sell it to the next person. Can't, that appraisal is gonna hang out there for 6 months. And
Yeah.
especially if you live in an area that maybe has a lot of VA or has a lot of FHA, and people are like, well, I'm just gonna, no, this is an area that most of the homes run FHA, VA, whatever it is. And that appraisal ain't going away. Like, it's in your best interest right now to negotiate through this appraisal and figure out how we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
I-
most of ours is FHA.
Mm-hmm.
I have a conventional, well, not I, but the buyers, they have a conventional loan. But like Anna, I had a listing
Mhm.
a couple years ago, and it came in low. We expected, and we contested, but it didn't help.
Didn't help at all.
Yeah,
Sometimes it doesn't,
yeah.
sometimes
So,
it's your appraiser.
and they almost pulled out.
Oh, wow.
The financing kept getting screwed up. But come to find out at the end, the girl went out and bought furniture.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, but anyway,
Ah.
But wait, Craig, so at that point, what was the, okay, so you did do you have to do like a letter of reconsideration like you would for buyers? If you have a Tidewater with your comps?
I just did the comps and sent them in to him.
The
And
Tidewater refers specifically to VA, but it's the same. It just has a term,
yeah,
but if it's FHA and it doesn't appraise, you just send the comps in to the appraiser. And usually there's a form. It's the same, it's similar to what the appraisers use. And you can put any like justification for your comp, like, renovated kitchen.
Okay.
because
Yeah.
our house was totally brand new. I mean, it was remodeled top to bottom, and they gave us like a crazy low appraisal. But anyway, we had discussed if she pulled out, we wasn't gonna accept any other FHA appraisals. I mean, FHA loans, anyone that wanted to purchase a FHA, anyone that buyer came afterwards had to be conventional.
Yep, yep,
Um,
that's the other way around it. It's
yeah.
just not-
On the Tidewater though, guys, if this one, so this buyer was this buyer was a VA buyer.
Mhm.
Yes.
Does the VA appraisal stick to FHA loans in the
No.
future, or is it just VA
No.
to VA?
VA to VA, FHA to FHA.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so if we avoid getting a VA, then we're good.
Good, but they're similar. So you may run
Yeah.
into a case where the FHA may not appraise. So it doesn't hold, but take a look at the repairs it's asking to do and the justification for the low appraisal.
And in that
Yeah.
case, you do have to get the appraisal report to know exactly what's going on, right? They'll have to release that to you.
Yeah, you have to ask
Okay.
them if they would be willing to do that. Which would
Okay.
help. I mean, but then you're in this situation where you know what's wrong.
I was just gonna say that puts you in a sticky wicket. Could.
I was
If you have
told
if you have an idea of what's wrong, you may
Mhm.
not want to get the appraisal, the
Mm.
full appraisal,
Because you have to disclose.
because then you would have to disclose to the buyer that additional things are wrong.
Exactly.
For this house, they said it's a shortage of the square footage. Apparently, the overall square footage that I reported included the garage, but my client doesn't know any different. So what do I do in that case? Just go and measure the whole house myself?
You can measure the house and do the rough math to see it.
Yeah.
I mean-
What does the tax say? The tax, see, in Tennessee, the tax is the official one, and
the-
you disclose where
yeah.
this came from, and if it's not
It's like
heated or cooled,
Significantly under. It's significantly under what it really is. But then they're saying the number that I put was over and it included the garage space.
And is there a survey on the property? Do you guys have to do surveys where you are?
He does have a survey, yeah.
What
He
does
does.
survey say? Because we have to survey everything in Florida too. Every single time it exchanges hands, survey has to be done.
oh wow.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy. Even if there's a survey in place already, Gina?
Yeah, it like survey lasts for like a year or something like that, but that's how longer it lasts. After that, you have to resurvey. It's stupid. I mean, there's no other rules in Florida, so why they have that one's beyond me, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, you can, tax records usually do apply. Is the square footage off enough that, well, I was wondering if the math makes sense, like, is it a 400 square foot difference and it's a 2-car garage kind of a thing? Does the math line up, or is it so far off that it makes you want to go in there and actually measure the rooms?
I think it's not, from my understanding, it's not far off. It's just that it included the garage space. That's all.
Why
Gotcha.
did you include the garage space? Is it heated and cooled?
No, love, I don't think so.
Include it unless it's heated and cooled.
Right. Based on the measurements that I took, so based on the survey and based on the measurements I took, my measurements supported the survey and not the BCAD or the appraisal district. So my calculations were consistent with the survey, but were inconsistent with the appraisal district, and they're using the numbers for the appraisal district. And apparently the appraiser is saying that it's consistent with, her numbers were consistent with the appraisal district.
And I'm assuming Mr. Appraiser did not come out and actually measure the house. They're just using the
Right.
number. Yeah, all right. And
Probably.
I would,
Contested.
yeah, I would.
So
But-
it's a desktop appraisal, not an actual appraisal.
Yes, exactly.
Mm,
And the form will have columns. And so each of the at least the forms here, the forms have columns for each of the house that you're doing the comparables for, including your house. And so
Uh-huh.
you would put that in there.
okay. All right, guys, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Isn't real estate fun?
Super. Super.
Every once in a while, like, all right, fine, back over here doing this. So, Bree, you've successfully contested.
Yes, both VA and FHA.
All right. I've successfully contested against the tax rolls for a client. It's doable. It really is doable. Just get your ducks lined up and go back. And then once in a while, you just get an a-hole that, you know, fights you all the way through it.
I even did it for a refinance. So,
Okay.
you know, I just helped the client refinance a year later. And so we had to do the comparables.
Right. Right. All right.
And like, it was a new build and they were trying, I was like, so
It's a new build.
it was a new build. It was a year old. And so everything else that had been released, of course, was more expensive
Mm-hmm.
later. And so she actually had 150,000 in equity.
Nice. Very nice. Also with new builds, you're like, it went through the planning commission, like, you know, our square footage and stuff's clearly correct.
Right.
Or there's a lot of people who signed off on this wrong, one or the other. All right. Any other challenges that we've got today? Bree, that was amazing. Anna, that was amazing. Thank you for bringing that one up. Bree, you're amazing too.
Thank you guys. Love you.
Love you too. All right, you all have amazing, fabulous rest of your days, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Love you.
I love you.
Take care. Love you guys.